That is just the beginning of the adventure, believe me. Hello, welcome to a special Super 8 edition of Hollywood Uncensored. I'm Sam Rubin. We're glad that you're here, and here too. 4 of the stars of what some say is the most eagerly anticipated movie of the summer, Super 8. Now, J.J. Abrams directs, Steven Spielberg produces, and while they begged to be here, we said no. We wanted to hang with the stars of the movie, uncensored style, which means no script, no pre-interview, just the real deal from the fellas who are in the flick, and they are Joel Courtney. He plays Joe, and let's be honest, he has a lot to deal with. Riley Griffiths is Charles, a character I think is based on J.J. and Spielberg himself. Gabriel Basso is the leading man, Martin, in the movie within the movie. And I've known David Gallagher back from the years on Seventh Heaven. He's all grown up and has one of the best scenes in a movie that involves a car and a lot of smoke. Let's start with a question that will require David to search his memory, but might be a lot more recent for the rest of you. How did you get here? I always think things come down to a specific phone call or some other indication that, yes, for sure, you're in this movie. What happened? And Joel, is it a cliche phrase? Has it changed your life?
Most definitely. I hadn't done any acting jobs other than Super 8, except for a couple in-class plays. So Super 8 has definitely changed my life.
Oh man, it was just kind of surreal because I've been acting my whole life. Since first grade, I've been doing plays and Shakespeare plays, but I never dreamed I would ever be on something like this. So it's been just so cool to go through it with these guys and with JJ and Steven. It was just like really the best scenario you could ever imagine.
Yeah, I played the whale in Jonah in my 6th grade play, but
Were you good?
yeah, no, I dropped the cardboard cutout
What
of
was
the
your
whale.
lines? Did you?
I actually went, go. You know, I have to say that was Oscar material, Tony material. But yeah, this film has definitely changed my position in this acting world and my life outside of the acting world. So.
Well, but I mean, you tell me. I don't know if it was from your folks or an agent or somebody. When did you know you got it?
I was actually down in LA with Ryan, and JJ took us into the room, and he told me I had the role. So I got out of that room, and I was just bouncing off the walls. I was so excited. It was pretty crazy. I was literally jumping everywhere. I was super happy.
That sounds pretty awesome that you got the news in person. I'm pretty impressed with that, actually.
Right,
I mean, usually,
–
speaking from my experience, it's usually a phone call, and it's usually from your own people. But to have JJ tell you that you got the role himself, I think that must have been really cool.
It was pretty awesome, I gotta admit.
And so how does somebody go from Moscow, Idaho, to effectively the lead in a movie like this?
I had some acting classes with my brother, Caleb Courtney, in Seattle. So she's also a casting director. So since it was a nationwide search for all of our characters, she'd heard about it. So she told me while I was down in LA visiting my brother, and I went and auditioned for it.
Wow. And then here's the thing, because one thing that people have this, they say makes you scared a little bit, is if you enter into this, all you hear is no. And did you guys hear any no's along the way before this big giant yes?
Yeah,
No.
definitely. I mean,
No. Okay, it's like, they never said no.
No,
It's been Jonah and then yes, yes, yes.
I saw you as the whale. Yes.
yeah, my acting coach, she tells me, you got to collect your no's before you get your yeses, because who knows, if you would have got that commercial earlier on, or if you would have got that TV show, you might not have gotten this, you might not have gotten that opportunity. So, I mean, you just got to really just go with the flow and know that there is a path set out
Only
for you.
the same circumstances were the same with dating and everything. All the no's equal a yes eventually.
You got to collect those no's.
Well, you know what?
Yes, no.
Where are you from?
This is going to it would seem to me this is going to kind of improve one's dating life, don't you think?
I'm too busy. I don't know. Yeah, for me right now. With school, sports, acting, sports. I said that already. So
More sports.
More sports.
Pretty much, yeah.
I'll say. Well, let me ask you, because we can all benefit from your experience. You're on Seventh Heaven for a while. You get older. You get to be these guys' age, even older. Girls are noticing.
It's weird. I remember it being awkward because you feel. There's this feeling that it's like you have Alzheimer's. I used to tell people, it's like everyone remembers you, but you don't remember anyone else. So you're constantly being approached by people who feel that they know you in a personal way, in a way you don't know them. And when that applies to the dating scenario, it sort of makes, it used to make me feel uncomfortable because I always felt like I had to like start over and re-explain who I was and who I wasn't, because people come with a predetermination towards
Well, because they think this is what Simon's like.
Yeah, well, and or whatever your work is, a lot of people with actors will base who they think that actor is on their work, and of course that's not true. With some personalities in the business, I'm sure that could be true, but I like to think that it's not true for me, and so there's that weird relationship that you have to sort of work out with new people who already assume that they know something about you.
Really interesting. When we jump back right here, Super 8 is set about 30 years ago. Is it better to be a child of the 70s or right now? Plus, could there be a real life version of Super 8 on the way? That and much more as Hollywood Uncensored rolls on here.
Hurry, get that set up. Positions. Ready. Start filming. Be extra loud when the train passes by. Here we go. And action.
Oh, action indeed. Some of my favorite scenes are when the young fellows of Super 8 are busy making their movie. I'm Sam Rubin. Welcome back to a special Hollywood Uncensored. We're hanging with the cast of Super 8, which of course is in theaters now. And here's a pretty impressive pedigree. J.J. Abrams directed the movie. Steven Spielberg produced it. And both of those legends knew they wanted to be filmmakers when they were as young, as you guys are now. Has spending time with them influenced you?
I definitely know that I want to be an actor when I grow up. That's my passion in life. I love to entertain people and I love to become another character, so it's definitely what I know I want to do.
Yeah, I think it was inspirational to work with like legends like that,
Was it intimidating?
No, they made us feel so comfortable.
Yeah, they made it really comfortable.
No?
Yes.
Did you guys really just say no?
I was
Hold on
about
a
to say
second.
yes.
We just worked with JJ and Steven Spielberg, and it was absolutely intimidating. I'm not going to hear this from you guys. You guys did not grow up with all of Spielberg's work. I was beside myself when I realized the challenge that I had in front of me of impressing such people. And it really meant a lot to me, and I know it meant a lot to you guys too, but man, it was such a... I drove myself crazy, more so than I think was necessary. But I was so scared. I'm happy that you guys.
Well,
I was intimidated when I met JJ because I've been a huge fan of his work. Lost, Cloverfield, Star Trek. Huge fan of his. So I was intimidated when I first met him. So the first week of filming was kind of like intimidating. But then I got to know him. He was a really nice guy. Then when Steven came on set for the first day, it just like came back again. Like I was just terrified all over again. And then like I got used to that.
Were you ever afraid that you would let these guys down?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think there's always a little bit of that in the actor psyche. You know what I mean? Otherwise, it has to be important to you to do a good job. You know what I mean?
When do they say? I imagine either it's something they do or some sort of behavior where you realize, hey, wait, I'm not letting them down. This is going okay.
When they don't say you're not doing a good job. That's usually a good sign.
You usually just have to gauge it in a general sense. You don't want to get an excess amount of praise on set because then you always feel like it's forced and that, maybe they're lying to me, there's that. And then you don't want to get no praise on set because then you feel like you're not drawing the attention that's necessary.
Was there a particular scene that was particularly challenging for any of you where you thought, wow, this is it'd be hard to kind of figure it out?
Well, there was this scene where where we were all stuck in this place and we had to climb out, and I got stuck climbing out for like 15 minutes.
Yeah, me and Joe were like trying to pull him out.
I had to climb out, and they were holding my arms, but they wouldn't let my arms go, so I was just dangling there.
It was so funny.
So I was just dangling there for like 15 minutes, and Ryan was down there trying to push me up, and then I accidentally, there's this part in the movie, you'll see it, where I kick Ryan in the face when I'm dangling. That really happened. I really kicked Ryan in the face. It was total accident, but it was. I just remember the behind the scenes guy just getting a close up on my behind while I'm stuck.
And was there any point during that point where you wanted to say, like, I don't know who you'd call to the stunt people or something, hey, I'm stuck?
I was pretty much just mad at these two because they wouldn't let go of my arms.
And I think we were kind of in shock that we
They were just laughing, and I'm like, guys.
I couldn't stop laughing.
It was one of those
so
moments
funny.
where they were like,
Pulling
I don't
on
know,
Ryan.
should we stop?
Like,
No, keep going.
Yeah, did JJ say anything?
Well, pretty much the whole.
I think
crew
everyone was
just
laughing. Yeah,
because like when you climb out of something, you need your arms to climb. But I was just dangling there with them, so it was.
Well, the stuntman said, "Just pull him up. It'll be easy."
Have you-
And we went in there and we're like,
He's not moving.
All right, as we continue here, lights, cameras, action. What movies do our panel want to redo? And later, the crystal ball. Will there be a Super 9 straight ahead on Hollywood Uncensored?
How am I supposed to be a zombie? Pretty much just be a lifeless ghoul with no soul, dead eyes, scary. Did you ever have Miss Mullen? For English? Yeah. Yeah. Kind of like her, but hungry for human flesh.
You know, I think my 8th grade teacher actually was hungry for human flesh. It's a special Hollywood Uncensored. We're here with the cast of Super 8. And fellas, one of the things I enjoy about this movie so much is it's very specific to its time period, 1979. And it makes me wonder, do you think it's easier to grow up in 1979 when you put your bike on the bike rack and there's no lock, or today?
I definitely think that kids had more freedom back in 1979 because there wasn't really, it's such a different world today with all the technology and all that. So I definitely think kids had more freedom to go and do stuff more without their parents worrying as much.
yeah, but with that, there's a lot more opportunities. You know, nowadays, you can, with the technology, you can go more places, you can see more things. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I think the major difference is a national mindset and an international mindset. And now, now the world has become so international.
Well, the world now is so big and so small. What I thought, and I think a lot of people will find very relatable, is this is all set in a small town.
Yeah.
It's a small world after all.
It is a small world after all. Thanks for that reference. When I brought it up, though, you were nodding your head, Joel. You were like, yeah.
Yes, I can relate to a small town. I come from a really small town, and I really love it there. There's a lot of outdoors kind of stuff. I mean, sometimes I stay inside, watch some TV, but I really love getting outside. And without the TV in '79, kids could get outside a lot, and that's really what a lot of kids nowadays need instead of their iPhones or Xboxes.
Yeah, definitely. I moved from a small town to Seattle, and you definitely have a lot of more freedom in that small town because you play night games every night and just go out and you just have to check in every 2 hours or something. But in when you live in such a bigger town, you can't really go out and play night games because of all of the dangers that come involved with that.
And speaking of potential dangers, I suppose we are here right now in the heart of Hollywood, and you guys are spending some time in Hollywood, big premiere and everything else like that. What do you think of Hollywood?
I think it's really big and there's a lot of traffic. Yeah. I can't handle it. If you're stopped at my hometown for 30 seconds, it's crazy. You stop here for 5 minutes for one spot, you haven't moved a foot, it's whatever.
David, if you had to do it all over again, would you have grown up in Southern California or someplace else?
I really don't think that I would trade anything of my journey. If not just for one good reason, is because it's led me to a great project like this and being a part of something I've always dreamed of being a part of. But I moved out to Los Angeles from New York City, so I certainly didn't come from a small town at all. I started my career in Manhattan when I was a baby with my mom, and it was really a bonding thing for me and my mom. And at a certain point, it was just sort of in the air. It was sort of put out there okay, well, we can continue as we are, or we can shoot for the next step, which is you got to go to LA. I mean, at that point, I was coming out to LA occasionally for pilot season and other very normal things that actors do. But we made the jump when I was 11 years old. We came out for that pilot season, and a few months later, I was doing the Seventh Heaven pilot. Wow. So I was very, very lucky that I came out here and was greeted in a way with sort of some success.
Well, I tell you what, you've all gotten success, but you've gotten success because talent goes with it. It doesn't just come it's not like just winning the lottery. You almost deserve to win the lottery. We jump back here. Lots to get to on Hollywood Uncensored.
What? Put it in, Joe! Get the mic ready, go! Costume!
I will.
Joe, Martin, we gotta shoot it. Martin, get that tripod set up. Preston, get in position!
I will.
There is considerable production value in Super 8. The cast of new movie here with us on Hollywood Uncensored. And in the movie, you guys are busy making a student version of a classic zombie movie. Now, just with our phones, everybody can make any kind of movie. What classic movie, David, do you want to remake?
Let me go next. Let me think about it.
I got one.
Go ahead.
Yeah, go.
Okay, like my favorite childhood movie, what I grew up watching was Lord of the Rings. So it'd be super cool to be Legolas and like do backflips off horses, and that'd be
That's
sweet.
not fair. They just did that movie.
Does Despicable Me count? Because I was like all animated.
Right. What do you want to make remake?
They want to
Me?
remake movies from last year.
Right, that's what I was thinking. They want to
I
remake.
just love that movie.
But did you guys? I mean, there is sort of a veil. I don't want to say of secrecy, but we're not revealing too much about the plot or anything. They're trying to keep that under wraps. But did you guys have your own cameras and stuff? Were you shutterbugs on the set?
You know how there was that Super 8 film contest that
Right.
they just did, and they gave out prizes. Ryan and I were joking around one day and wondering like what it would be like if we entered. So we tried to make a movie, and then halfway through my iPad fell over, and because Ryan didn't set it up right, so it fell over, and then it just
blame
turned
it on
into a
Ryan.
gigantic
Here goes a bus.
wrestling match.
We're throwing Ryan, one of the co-stars in the movie, under the bus.
Under the bus
it
with
was his
Ryan.
fault, by
Metro
the way.
North to be exact.
So
right.
we pretty much got in a gigantic pillow fight, and you just see like pillows going over the camera, and then us like wrestling and everything. So it pretty much turned into a WWE wrestling.
All right. Besides getting
pillows.
stuck, were there other crazy hijinks on the set? Was anybody pulling any gags?
I hijacked a-
Look, you're hitting him. What did he do?
Oh no, he was in it just as much as I was.
No way.
Yeah.
It was all
Don't
you and
deny it,
Ryan.
Joel. What did you do?
No, okay,
I didn't
so
do
one
anything.
night we got done filming in West Virginia, and it was Gabe decided to go into his room, but it was really late, and we saw
tired.
Kyle. We saw Kyle
me.
go into his room, and so we decided to ding dong ditch him. And Joel was in it just as much as.
No, I wasn't.
Yes.
I didn't know
Yes,
what you guys were doing.
Yes, he
sharing
was.
No,
flavor.
Yes, he
you
was.
and Ryan went and ding dong ditched Kyle, and I had no idea what you guys were
comes
doing.
another
You
bus.
left me there, and you ran away. And he opened the door, and I pointed to you guys and ran
No,
away.
he chased you too.
No,
yes,
he did.
We all had
he
to hide.
chased me because you
Yeah.
guys ran away.
No,
I was the
no,
only
all
one.
I know
who
is
did it.
This is
I was in my
This
room.
is Kyle Chandler, who plays Joel's dad in the movie. And for the uninitiated, what is exactly Ding Dong Ditch?
Ding dong ditch is when you ring the person's doorbell and then
run
ditch
away.
him.
Right.
And Kyle actually started to chase us through the whole hotel for like 15 minutes, and we just it was just so fun.
I pulled
He's a great.
a Grand Theft Auto on set and
Yeah.
hijacked a golf cart.
That
was pretty fun.
Would you guys have felt comfortable Ding Dong Ditch and Spielberg?
No, probably
No,
have snipers
I don't
like
know.
posted outside.
I can just imagine.
You knock, it's like you're running, and he's sitting on his bed. He's like, "Take him out."
You get the sense, I mean, you guys are all pals, that it was this cool atmosphere on the set. Was it ever tense or ever like, ooh?
We had a
probably
good
one of-
vibe.
Yeah,
We had a
probably
good
one of
vibe.
the most tense times. It was pretty late, and we were about done. And it was when we were gonna film the curb scene, and it was really close to raining. And so I think that we just nailed it, and then the whole crew was laughing, and we got them all laughing. So that was probably the closest time, but
then
that
it
was one
started
of our
raining.
best scenes.
There were a bunch
Yeah.
of high tensions
Yeah,
though, because it was about to rain, and In-N-Out was on set, so we were all like,
because whenever Gabe's
have to
on
go
set,
down to
it's high
Crafty.
tension.
Wait, is there an In-N-Out in West Virginia?
No, that was in we shot half of the curb scene in West Virginia, and then it turned out something went wrong.
Right.
So
Yeah.
we went to like a random curb in LA, and we shot the rest of the scene.
Hey, we're moments away from a major magazine reveal, plus our youthful crystal ball predictions right after the break as Hollywood Uncensored continues here on Reel's channel. Guests of Hollywood Uncensored go gold class. It is the first-class way to see a movie and offers the ultimate escape for movie lovers, from the amazing lounge area to the plush micro suede recliners to the best food and beverages and service anywhere. Check it all out at goldclasscinemas.com.
Preston, you tell me everything, and I won't throw you in jail.
Yes, sir. But I think you should look at this first.
The victim of Ding Dong Ditch, Kyle Chandler and Zach Mills, in part of a searing sequence from Super 8. Before we get to the crystal ball, two things. First, what about that physical Super 8? There's a Super 8 app now?
Yes.
Tell me about that.
Take it away, guys.
It's
Let
pretty
them know.
cool. You can videotape with your camera through your iPhone or whatever, and it makes it look like a Super 8 camera, like the film with all the streaks going through it, and the sides are kind of blurred a little bit. And it's really cool.
But when you start watching it, it unlocks secret clips. So,
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Well, this is no secret. Let me show you the brand new cover of Entertainment Weekly. Ooh, impressive. Woo! Joel Courtney there.
Who is that?
How many magazine covers, Joel, are your parents going to buy?
I don't really know. I think it's pretty awesome, but apparently the inside is a lot better. There's some pretty cool pictures
Features
of all of us
everybody.
together.
Really
and
nice
there's
spread.
some really good stories in there.
Time now for our patented crystal ball. This is where our great group tells us something that will happen in the future of show business. Here's Joel Courtney.
I, for sure, will work with my brother on a movie, Caleb Courtney. That is going to happen, and I know it will.
Very good. Riley Griffiths.
I think after Super 8 comes out, lots of kids are going to want to start making their own movies and want to go and make films when they're older.
Gabe Basso.
Okay, I think that Super 8's gonna be awesome.
You think?
I know.
That's all you got.
That's awesome. Zoe.
Awesome. It's gonna be super.
David Gallagher.
I'm going to switch it over to the music scene right now. I've been going crazy about this group, Odd Future, and
They're playing at the House of Blues. Did you see it? They're going to be playing
yeah,
just a couple weeks.
absolutely. We do everything we can to try to get into their shows. In fact, Tyler the Creator's show on the day his album came out, we went with no tickets and we just swagged out outside. Had the best time we could. But I think
Block
Odd
party.
Future's going to take over hip hop.
As for me, everybody pays such attention to the opening weekend of a movie. What I think matters more, how does the movie perform over time? Here's what I think, that Super 8 will have super legs and will play and play and play. Why? Because it's the kind of movie you want to see again and again. And this isn't a prediction, but simple fact. The very end of the movie, the very end, you have to stay when the credits start, because that sequence, when the credits play, is nothing short of perfect. Great job, guys. Thanks so much for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching.
Free
I'm Sam
Earl.
Rubin. Free Earl. That's an Odd Future reference. We'll see you next time on Hollywood Uncensored.